I just wanted to come and show you guys how I thread my hair. I got the idea when I was starting Shape Bae for the first time last year, and it's basically the African threading method. Of course, I adjusted it a little bit just so it fits me, but people have been asking how I do it, so I decided to come and do a quick video on how I do it. So what I use is some craft yarn. I've seen people use like the thread, like legit sewing thread, but I choose to use yarn, and you can pick whatever color you want. This one was at Walmart in the craft section, like with the crochet needles and all that kind of stuff. So it's craft yarn, the same stuff you would use to crochet something or whatever else they do with this yarn. It was on sale, so that's why I picked this one. It was like $1.99, and I chose, they had a lot of them, but I chose a color one that's not black just so I can see it in my hair. So when I get ready to take it down, it's not going to be confused with my hair. So I just figure out about how much I'm going to need. And sometimes I have to add pieces because I've cut it too short. So each section so this is probably going to be one of my sections. That length. And it's like about 2.5 feet is what I'm cutting, because it's half of my height that I just cut. So you're gonna just get that piece already cut, and then you want to go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do to your hair, as far as if you're gonna put some moisture in it or whatever you want to do to it. I'm gonna be adding some Shape Bae to mine, so I'm gonna add that, and then I will come back and show you guys how to actually start threading. What I normally do is divide my hair into 4 sections. You can do as many as you want, but for me, I'm going to be doing my 4 sections. And yes, you can wear this under wigs, because I do, and I'll be showing you how I do that in another video. But we're going to just show you one section right now. So I already put all my moisturizer in there, and then you have your section, and you want to take the end of the yarn and give yourself about that much. Yeah, you can see it. So it's like 2 inches, 3 inches of leeway, and you want to place it in the same direction as your hair and group it with your ponytail. So I hope you guys can see that. And then you want to make sure you're holding it kind of tight to make sure it doesn't slip out, and then you want to wrap. And it doesn't matter which way you wrap. If you wrap clockwise or counterclockwise, just start wrapping and keep that same direction for the entire length of the section that you're going to be yarning. So what you want to do is wrap it around the base 3 times before you start the length of the section. So what I mean by figure out which way is more comfortable for you to wrap. And it's not going to be the same for each section. You just have to figure out your hand placement. So I'm going to go this way, I guess. Grab the yarn, so that's 1 wrap. And you want to kind of pull it tight, but make sure you're not moving this piece. Make sure this piece doesn't move, that you have going the same direction as your section. Make sure it doesn't move while you're pulling on this piece. So then you want to do, that was 1. You want to grab it again, so that'll be 2. And pull it kind of tight, because this is going to be your base. And then you want to do 3. At least. You can do more, but I recommend at least 3. Alright, so those are my 3 base. And then what you want to do is start to wrap it the length of your section. So you still take it around the same way, but this time you're going to start going down. So just pull it down just a little bit, keep it tight, and then you can start using your thumb for help going down the ponytail, because at this time you already have your base kind of tight, so you're not too worried about your your yarn moving down the length of your section with you. So you just want to make sure you kind of still holding your hand on it, but then if you can start to use your thumb to help push your thread so you don't have to reach how I had to do the first 3 times. Okay? So if you can see, my thumb is helping push it around so I don't have to reach so much. And then just keep moving down as you go. And like I said, you can play with your hand placement. And I don't do mine super close together as far as my threading. And that's just personal preference. I find that it still does what I need it to do without me doing the thread super close together. And depending on, and if you can flip it around. Depending on how close you do your threading. So if my thread was, or my yarn was closer together, so if I did a wrap here, then a wrap here, then a wrap here, then a wrap here, then you would need to measure out more in length. So you would probably need way more than this to do your whole section because you're using more yarn in less space. But I like to keep mine spread out. I find that it keeps my hair detangled and does fine. And I just find this method a lot quicker than braiding for me. So that's why I chose to do this. So then you can almost kind of do twisting once you can flip it around, or you can do it in the back too, but you can almost do twisting. But you're only moving the thread. You're not going to be doing your hair too, just twisting the thread around. Okay, and I'm getting to the end. So once I get to toward the end of my hair, and I have like coming to like the end, I don't know really how to explain it. I guess it's like 2 inches or so left. You don't want to, well, I don't. You don't want to thread all the way down to the bottom of this single piece, because depending on how tight you pull your thread, you may be causing breakage, almost having like a too tight ponytail. So I don't thread to the end. What I do once I get about this much left is I hold my thread in one hand, flip this little piece up so that it's going back up this way. Then I grab the hair and that piece together. And then you want to do what you did at the base again of your hair, and then start to wrap that bottom where you folded it up so that it stays taut. So what you'll have to do is push a little piece up like that, so that you'll have like a little tail to hold on to, and then begin to wrap. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So you want to wrap a few times around that bottom so that you kind of create another base. Hope you guys can see that. Okay. And then once you create your base, then you want to redo what you were doing coming down the hair and just start to wrap it coming back up. It doesn't have to be super close together. So that's the spacing at the bottom. And all I have is this little tiny piece left. And so I just smush it in and make sure I continue to wrap. And then once I have that little piece smushed in, and the ends seem to be very important to me, because if I keep the ends kind of close together and tight to this piece, it seems to hold moisture a lot better, because it's, I guess because it's the bulking. So then once you get to the end, like once you wrapped all that 1.5 inches or however much back going up, and you're in at the end of it, just start to create another base until your thread gets to about here. So we're going to keep wrapping, and you can wrap in the same spot or you can go up. So you get about that much left, and then what I do is find the closest piece of yarn. So it'll be this part right here. Tug at it a little bit just so you can get your finger under it. So I got my finger under it, and then I'm gonna loop that little tail through. Just pull it through that piece of thread or yarn, and then it's secured. So there's no tying of knots or anything like that. So when you get ready to undo this piece of thread, you can just literally pull it from under that little piece of yarn and like just tug at it, and everything will unravel at one time. So this is what it looks like at the end. And no, it's not tight. I didn't do it tight to where it's like pulling. I just did it tight enough to where it has some hold. Okay. So I hope that was helpful to let you guys see how I yarn my hair. And if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.